It's just fantastic.
Captain's Log, Subdates 21014.1. Ensign Spoon has plotted us a safe route through a Omicron-dense region of Cacopolis. It should shave weeks off our travel time through this rather dense and dark space. I'm considering removing Ensign Bork's lapel, therefore demoting him, and giving it to Ensign Spoon. Welcome everyone to the exhibition of stupid people. Today we have 3 subjects to go through, one of which was actually left over from last week's and I found so interesting that I think it should be the first subject we cover today. It's called beard baiting. Yes, it's a thing. You can thank Yana Hocking for this one. How men are deceiving women with their beards. Men are often being called out for their appalling dating behaviour. But this particular deception has gotten women across Australia swooning. Ladies, we've been duped. I have to admit though, I'm not sad about it. You see, men have discovered the equivalent of a push-up bra, and it's getting us all hot and flustered. Let me try and give you a clue as to what it is. What do you think about when I ask you to picture a rugged Canadian woodchopper, decked out in low-slung jeans, a tight, manly flannelette shirt with a hint of chest hair, and an axe slung over his shoulder as he enters the woods? He's wearing a beard, isn't he? Have any of you guessed yet where this is going? Because this is the part that I find most interesting when it comes to this particular subject. Yana in this article references what has happened to many men during lockdown. She hasn't mentioned that most have put on a lot of weight, because, you know, gyms are shut, yo, and there aren't any trees to cut. There's also the added little perk here she hasn't considered. As great as it is that many men have been growing beards, not all that have grown beards can in fact grow a beard to the standard or level that can be groomed to look like the way you would want them to look. The kind that covers a fair chunk of their face, for reasons we're about to discuss. And I should say, for the sake of it, considering the points you're making in this article, the stock image you use is not a fair representation of what you are trying to now describe. Oh, and yes, I was referring to neckbeards earlier. So the comments you're about to make are going to seem a tad moot. With all these manly men being locked up inside thanks to a pandemic, they've let themselves regress back to the caveman era. The robust grooming technique has been given a dating term, and it's one I can get on board with. It's called beard baiting. It's deceptive in the fact that behind a bushy facade could be an average face. A beard can hide a number of things, like pimply skin, a small chin, and a lack of jawline. Heck, let's be honest, if it's sexy and groomed enough, it can even hide a bland personality. Just like a push-up bra, am I right? I think many of you are starting to understand why I consider this to be a bit stupid. The article, not so much beard baiting, because people like beards. Over the last 5 years, they have arisen to take their place within a cultured and hygienic society. Air quotes around cultured and hygienic. And people do like to style their beards. Beards are cool. Nothing wrong with them. Equally nothing wrong with the push-up bra. To an extent. There are limitations to both, I'm sure. The beard and the push-up bra, not both the ladies. I just wanted to point and laugh at this one because of the average face comment, which I won't deny had me laugh a tad too much, but I'm okay with it because I have a really bad sense of humour. So next we're going to go to the Great British Bake Off, which is a moderately popular TV show that many have heard of except for me because I don't watch TV. Seriously, I never pay attention. Where during one of the tasks on this show, the contestants were asked to make bagels. No ordinary bagels though, rainbow-coloured bagels. So people did, and this is what we got. They look fantastic. I might even say I'd eat one, with some salmon and cream cheese, because I'm a basic bitch, yo. Well, when one of the hosts of the show was asked about why rainbow-coloured bagels by a fellow judge called Prue Leith, who I've actually heard of before from a different cooking show. Yeah, I did watch some TV in the past, okay? He responded, I think bagels are a great challenge when you're making bread. You've got to boil them, which is unusual, and then bake them. I think the rainbow for me, although it originated over in the States, I think it represents the NHS. which it does, because during this pandemic, the rainbow was used as a means to represent the NHS and a way of signifying thank you to them, to the point where many badges were made, pins, for the collectors, which has a rainbow on along with the word, or letters, NHS, which stands for National Health Service for those who don't know the acronym. Well, there was a complaint because of this, and I'm going to go with the remarkably dishonest article here. LBGTQ+ community is outraged after the judge Paul Hollywood says rainbow bagels represent the NHS. Do you know how many people represent this community? I'll give you a hint. Apparently, there are not as many LBGTQ+ people in this country as we all thought, although I'm pretty sure I'm friends with more than the number that is given in the article. 18 complaints were made to the broadcast regulator Ofcom because he didn't recognise the LGBT community. Right. Because when acknowledging the existence of one community, i.e. the NHS, and the absolutely amazing work they have done and continue to do, he has to also recognise every other community that uses a rainbow to symbolise themselves, because, as is well established, it's all about them, yo. Okay, I'll be honest with you, no one owns the copyright to a rainbow, and I'm sure many of us have differing thoughts of what we think of when we think of rainbows. I personally think of a rather trash TV show from when I was a child, and that thing my nieces are trying to colour in with my pencils and botching up so badly that a rainbow is apparently brown and grey. Others did take to Twitter to complain about the bagels, but by doing so absolutely proved the point. You didn't know the NHS also use it. One symbol does not have to exist for one group or organisation or community. Get over yourselves. I might appropriate a rainbow, but I'm going to use it for something completely different. In fact, the rainbow is now my presidential campaign No Lives Matter banner. You are all welcome. To our final subject, we go to Stephanie Yeboah. Stephanie Yeboah was a writer for Grazia. Grazia? She was even widely acknowledged as not only a senior contributing editor, but as a champion for diversity, who got fired recently for some rather interesting tweets. You'd think this might be for This Week at Twitter or twat, but no. This is definitely for this video. A definite. It was either this or Akilah Hughes' GoFundMe, but honestly I don't want to get demonetized. So we are instead going to talk about somebody that apparently has me blocked, who I've never engaged with, who is at best a random blue check mark. She is listed as a plus-size blogger who joined the magazine only last month to fight for diversity, inclusion, and women's rights. Because, as is well established with Grazia, they are well known for championing straight white men only. Last week it was reported by Private Eye that a number of her tweets were a little bit tasteless. So I think we should have a quick look at those that she hasn't deleted. Voting Labour doesn't mean that we stand with anti-Semitism. I really wish people could at least understand that, especially when voting as a brown ethnic minority. Do you remember in the last subject where somebody made something all about themselves instead of the other issue? Yeah, it appears to be the prevailing theme. I think I might call this particular exhibition of stupid people narcissism, because that's what it is. In fact, it's a prevailing theme throughout the entire video. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. I've been feeling so guilty about my Labour support since this election was announced, but nah man, I can't. I refuse to feel guilty for voting for a party that aims to make life a little better for people who look like me. Maybe if I had the privilege of passing as white, I could have more flexibility with my vote. But mate, what makes me sad is that from the tweets I've seen, I haven't seen any empathy or sympathy shown from those complaining about anti-Semitism towards those who have suffered under this Islamophobic racist government. That thread continues for quite some time, by the way, and it doesn't get any better, because she goes on to say that anyone over the age of 55 shouldn't have the right to vote. That's how this works, of course. There was an image circulating, this image, implying what you see on the screen. However, I have yet to find any definitive proof that that was in fact her. and it's highly likely it was somebody else, but it was used in a few articles to say that she said it, but without any archive link of the tweet, there is no proof. It's a little intellectually dishonest. Might I recommend you online journalists do us all a solid and learn how to use archive.is, pretty please. Understandably, after an internal review and meetings with a bunch of people and communities, Jewish predominant, Stephanie lost her job. No F for you, because you turned one issue onto you because apparently you, even though discussing a different issue, are more important than that issue. Hence the narcissist theme of today's video. As we're done here, I'd love to know what you think. Please do let me know in the comments down below. As a final thing, I'm going to be streaming on Twitch tonight. If I don't see you there, have a fantastic Thursday, and thank you all for listening.